In an earlier video on this channel, I unboxed and tested a very cheap desktop fan, and it was a bit of a disaster. The thing fell apart and it wasn't really worth the money. I am striving, however, to find a fan that I like, partly to keep me cool in summer and also partly to do some tests on windjammers for microphones. I've bought another one, I've gone out and doubled the budget, so let's see if this new one is any good. So here it is, and this one is manufactured, or at least branded, by a company called Beldray. It does bear a remarkable resemblance in its construction to the previous one I had, except that this one is metal and the previous one was plastic. But I do just wonder whether, it says it's manufactured in China, I wonder if there is simply a manufacturer somewhere in China churning these all out, and then various importers or middlemen of some description are sticking their brand name on it, because these same people, Beldray, had one that looked remarkably similar to that previous fan I had. It looked identical. Not to worry though, hopefully this one is better constructed. It is at least partially made of metal, and I've gone up at least one spec in that this has 3 speed settings. Oh yes, instead of 2, and aluminium fan blades, and hopefully it will be somewhat more solidly constructed than the previous one. I hope so anyway, because I've paid twice as much. This one has cost me £30 instead of 15. So let's open it up and see what it's like. Okay, seems to be a similar sort of assembly process. We've got bits here, if I could get them out, which are the fan blade and the metal thing to stop you poking your fingers in the fan. Let's just undo all that. There we go. That's yeah, it's metal, a little bit flimsy, but it is metal. And there it is. Oh yes, this is substantially more solid, I think, than the previous one. Good metal here. The front, obviously more solid than the previous one, and we can tilt it forward and backward again. And there's a control for the 3 speeds, off 1, 2, 3, and then this knob which tells it whether to oscillate or not. Comes with a standard UK plug pre-fitted, as I think they're obliged to do by law these days. Take off the plastic thing and the bit of paper. And there we go. Now there'll be a little bit of construction on this, as there was on the previous one, fitting the fan and the back grill and the front grill. That'll be back, that'll be front, and that is obviously going to screw on to these screws here. So once again, I'm going to need a small screwdriver, a little crosshead screwdriver. So I'll just grab that. Right, so I've got my screwdriver now. So the first thing to do is unscrew the 4 screws on the main motor housing. And these will then screw back in through the back plate and hold the back plate on, we hope. Now, as before, there is a handle on the back plate which is supposed to go on the top, so we'll put it that way. Okay, I think we're there. That was a little bit fiddly as the screws didn't quite want to line up with their holes, but they are now in. Next thing that goes on obviously is the fan, pointing this way out. There's a little screw on the top there to hold it onto the shaft. I can only assume this bit of plastic is a bit of packaging. I don't think that's meant to actually be in the assembled product. So that goes on like that, and clearly I need a shorter screwdriver to get in here because that is too big. No, this is going to be slightly awkward, I think. Let's try that one. Well, it's kind of working. That's got enough travel, hasn't it? Yeah, that's fine. Don't want to put it so far back on the spindle that it won't spin, but that's okay. Yeah, let's just see if I can tighten that up any more. Again with a screwdriver that's too long, but okay, I think that's tight. Yeah, it doesn't feel like that's going to come off. So the final thing to go on is the front grille, that way up, so that this fixed catch here is at the top, and then the three others which open out and will clamp back down over the back half will go around the sides and bottom. There's also on the bottom here a very tiny little screw, like on the previous fan, with a bolt on it. So let's take that off, and that will go into, I don't even know if this is visible, there's a little hole here in the bottom which that screw will go into. So let's try popping that on like that. Well, that's a good start so far. That screw's almost fallen out. Let's wiggle that into place. That does not want to go in either. There we go, that's through. Quickly bolt it before it makes a bid for freedom with this tiny little bolt. This is incredibly fiddly. Right, come on, through you go. And on. Right, that's tight. Good. Okay, nearly there. So the final step then is to tighten up these catches around the outside that should hold the various bits of the fan together. Another one there, and the final one there. Phew. Who knew that bolting together fans could be such hard work? Anyway, there it is. Finished, so let's plug it in and hope for the best. Well, I think this proves the adage that you get what you pay for. I doubled my fan budget from £15 to £30 and got a much better product for it. Yes, it's still a bit fiddly to put together, but you manage it. You need a couple of screwdrivers and a bit of brute force, but it went together nicely. It looks as though it's going to stay put together and is going to do the job for which I bought it. So thumbs up for this desktop fan. Thank you for watching, hope you found the video useful, and if you did, why not give it a quick thumbs up on the like button and maybe subscribe to the channel for some more electronics reviews coming soon.